everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome back. We are back on the stream boat as we are every week at this time. We are trawling the bottom of the Netflix stream looking for hidden gem of movies.
Hidden gem of movies.
Yes.
Well, let's get this disclaimer out to start with. Neither of us can speak. I nearly said special at the start of the episode for some reason. Nick said hidden gem of movies. For some reason, we can't speak tonight, and I don't know why. It's bad luck for podcasting.
It's only going to get better.
Better? Let's hope so. Yeah, this is the movie show. This is where we talk about movies, trying to find hidden gems at the bottom of Netflix. And this week, we were randomly selected a movie by Robin, our randomizer, and he selected a movie called Strangeways Here We Come, which is a British movie. It was released in 2018. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 26 minutes and is currently rated at 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb. 5.3. Thoughts?
My assumption would have been it would be lower.
Agreed. I think it's about where I would expect it, but not necessarily where I would rate it.
Okay.
Yeah. This movie stars a lady called Michelle Keegan. She plays Demi. You will know her. She's been in everything in British for the last 10 years. She started off in Coronation Street.
Okay.
800 odd episodes of Coronation Street.
Wow.
Which is quite a lot. She was in the 50th anniversary tram crash episode.
Okay.
So that's what her most famous Corrie moment was. More recently, she's been in Fool Me Once, which was the Netflix original.
It was a huge hit. Start of this year.
Start of this year, it was. She's in Brassic.
Okay,
She's a British sitcom that people absolutely love. And I imagine was inspired by this film. It's a similar idea. And she recently did a show called Our Girl as well, which I think was on the BBC or ITV, which was she played like a soldier. Okay. So she's literally in everything. This movie also stars a guy called Oliver Coopersmith. He plays Aaron. This is Oliver Coopersmith's second appearance on our show.
I'm aware.
Yes. He was in iBoy.
I can't remember him in iBoy.
I can't remember him on iBoy either. iBoy was a while ago now.
It was like season 2, I think, or 3.
Well, I want to say it was the opener of season 3, but I might be wrong. It was definitely the first episode of the season.
Yeah.
I think it was season 3.
Brilliant.
I can't see it on that poster on my wall, though. I need to make that like closer or bigger.
The light is shining incorrectly.
It does.
For me.
The light shines on it. He was also in a sitcom that Simon Amstel was in a few years ago called Grandma's House.
Yes.
Which is a great sitcom.
Yeah.
He was in a couple of episodes of that.
Talk of hidden gems.
Yeah, brilliant episode. Brilliant show. And this film also stars, I've gone with James Foster. He plays Brian. I think he was like the third biggest person in it.
Okay.
This is like an ensemble cast. So there's like
100%.
There's like 8 people in it.
Yeah.
But everybody's playing the same sort of level. Yeah. You would know him. He was recently in the TV show called Screw.
Okay.
Which I think was on Channel 4. It was about prison officers. He was in that. This movie was written and directed by one guy called Chris Green. And this is the first film he's ever wrote or directed, but he has done 2 since. And the title comes from the Smiths' final album. It was the name of their final album. And that's why it is called that, because there's a Manchester music scene soundtrack in this movie.
It's very Manchester,
yeah.
This movie.
Yeah. Do you, Nick, have a one-word review of Strangeways Here We Come?
Superhero fatigue.
Okay, fair. We'll come to that. Where does this movie start, Nick?
A man in a van.
This movie doesn't really start, does
No.
it? It's difficult to say where it starts.
I wouldn't say it's the most epic or sweeping opening shot. There's a man getting changed in a van, and I'm like, oh, is this some kind of like undercover?
Yeah, he put a bulletproof vest on, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's not an undercover cop.
It's the postman.
He's a postman.
And we get various shots of this shitty council estate, I guess.
This is
maybe notable for some graffiti on the wall.
Yeah.
Which says, Barry Gaskell bums cats. And that sets the tone pretty well for this movie.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to make me laugh during this episode a lot more than this movie made me laugh. So, yeah, I feel like that's going to happen. This movie basically starts on a montage.
Yes.
Where we meet all of the characters but never get introduced to them.
Just doing their business.
Just living their lives.
Yeah.
And it was quite a long time before I wrote a note down.
I did, and it took a while for me to get everyone's names. So I might have to
don't even know if I ever did
go backwards a little bit.
Don't even know if I
I've
ever
worked
did.
it out.
So in this montage, we see a man dressed up as a superhero.
He's just chilling out on the
chilling
roof.
out on the roof. We see a lady throw a bag of rubbish at the postman because he's brought her too many bills.
Yeah.
Then the postman gets hit by a sniper rifle, but like a BB gun.
He gets a
hit.
pellet gun.
A couple of them get him in the face. It's just, I put montage of a state's life.
And there's some Mormons knocking around the flats.
Yeah, they're knocking around the flats. There's a girl who wakes up in bed with a rabbi.
Yes.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. And because she's the slutty one in this movie. Apparently.
Yeah. Then we meet, for the first character we really meet in this movie is Aaron, which is Oliver Coopersmith's character, who is the guy dressed as a superhero.
Yeah.
And we meet him because he's doing the garden and some young thug puts a gun to his head.
Yeah, so this is the kid who was shooting pellets at the postman, who is Ollie.
Ollie, indeed. And his mum comes out and tells him off. Ollie's mum comes out and says, "What are you doing with that gun?" And he's like, "It's not real, I'm just pissing about."
Ollie's like doing the whole, how do I say this appropriately, Ali G type gimmick, isn't he?
Yeah, constantly
culturally appropriating.
Yeah.
He's a
constantly
skinny
hands in
white
trousers.
teenager.
Yeah. Constantly hands in his trousers. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen these people around. His mum comes out and tells him, his mum's called Jean, if I remember rightly.
Correct.
She comes out and she has a bit of a chat with Aaron. Aaron seems to be like everybody on the estate loves this kid. Because he's what?
Well,
mid-20s probably?
Yes, who's on the spectrum, I think it's
fair to say.
And everyone loves him because he's a nice kid.
Yeah.
And he's had a tough time. And we find out some of that why in a bit.
Yeah.
But also, most of the women find him proper sexy.
Yeah, they do.
So, but everyone loves him, but also they all want to jump his bones. And I'm like, is this appropriate?
There's a rumour...
He is of age.
He's completely of age. And he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And there's a rumour gone around the estate that he's hung like a horse. That the girls mentioned that a couple of times. And I think they'll just want to find out. And to be fair, most people do find out in this movie.
Yeah, but it's like, it doesn't matter if it's like... Because there's a group of girls who are like students in Dix.
Yeah.
But like, all the
window cleaner.
All the women of all age want a piece of this guy.
The window cleaner. The window cleaner was Nadia... Oh, what's her name? Wadia?
Yeah.
It's not Nadia Wadia.
I don't know what her name is.
It's something like that. Nina Wadia.
Nina, that's it.
That's it. She's like in her 50s and she wants to jump him, and then the three student girls all do as well. But he's like loved by everybody. He's the simple kid on the estate, and he's like, everybody loves him.
It tells Gene he's having a party tonight.
He's having a party because it's his mum's anniversary.
Yes.
Since his mum died. He lost his mum. And it's the 1 year anniversary. So he's going to have a party for everybody on the estate. Then we meet Shelley and Melvin. Melvin or Marvin?
Marvin,
okay. They're just a couple that live on the estate as well. She's always in a dressing gown. He's like, shouts at her a lot. So that's Lauren Socha. She was in Misfits.
Yes.
That's where she started. She was great in that.
Yeah.
She wants to go on a cruise, but cruises are too expensive for people like this, so she can't go on a cruise.
Well, not until Marvin makes all his money, because he fancies himself as the next Walter White.
Yes,
and he's going to
start cooking meth. Yeah. Ollie then moons the window cleaner through the window, and the window cleaner goes into Aaron's room, and this is where she tells him that she's sex-starved and lonely.
Yes, and he can have it any time he wants it.
Yes, but he doesn't really want it. He's a bit scared. Aaron then goes around giving them all party invitations. He gives Demi's really nice to him. She finds him. She thinks he's nice, and he gives her a party invite. He gives Melvin a party invite. Melvin?
You're making me confused.
Sorry.
Now.
Well, who is it? What's his name?
Marvin.
Marvin. It never gets said during the movie, I don't think. Then we go back to the girls. This is where they're discussing whether Aaron's fit or not.
Yeah.
They all decide that he is. And they decide they will go to the party. And they all do go to the party.
The window cleaner lady comes in like dominatrix gear with a whip.
She does, indeed. As Jean is getting ready for the party, she's
properly getting dolled up.
Yeah, she's like
that was the creepiest one for me. She is going there with the intent of snaring young Aaron.
Even though he's not much older than her son, Ollie. And she accidentally punches Ollie while she's getting ready.
Yeah, they have like a little spar, don't they?
She punches him by mistake. Ollie's not going to the party, but everybody else is going. And when she gets to the party, everybody's playing Pass the Parcel.
It's like a kid's party.
Yeah, it is. It's like a kids' party.
They're eating trifle.
They're eating
pasta parcel.
Yeah, he's done a buffet. They're playing pasta parcel. And then Max, who is the local taxi driver,
Yes.
decides he's going to get the drugs out.
Yeah, she's got a plastic bag full of tablets.
Yeah, so he gets the drugs out, and the party's...
And everyone takes one.
Yeah.
Then he turns to Jean and he says, because she's all dolled up, and he says, Jean, I would bum you inside out.
He does. He's very inappropriate, is old Max, with some of the comments he makes to some of the female characters in this movie. He also says something to the two younger student girls as well about how much he wants to rail them.
Yeah.
Then it becomes midnight. As time passes, midnight falls. And Aaron decides now is the time he needs to remove his superhero costume. And he does. He strips naked in front of all of them. He leaves his pants on.
He asks for a countdown, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. So they count down to midnight.
As soon as it's midnight,
he robes his superhero costume and then goes outside.
Good job he had his pants on under.
It is a good job because we'd have all found out if it was true then. And he goes outside and he burns this costume. And it turns out it was his last promise to his mum.
Yes.
And yeah, his last promise to his mum was that he would never take off. He promised God that if his mum could see one last sunset, he would not take off the superhero costume for a year.
Correct.
And it's now been a year, so he can take the superhero costume.
And yeah, we learn a bit more about some of the other characters. So we learn that Brian, who's kind of the sad, down at heel guy, was a promising boxer.
Yep.
But he suffered a stroke, which ended his sporting career.
Yeah.
And he's never quite got over that.
Yeah. He now lives in poverty in this council estate. And then Danny Nolan turns up.
Yeah.
Danny Nolan is our bad guy.
He is the loan shark that these people are all into for various reasons.
He completely spoils the fun. He threatens Jean. He threatens Aaron.
He's like, where's my invite?
Yeah, why haven't I been invited to this party? He's just like the local bully that they're all scared of.
Jean tries to stand up to him.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And says, go, no one wants you here. And he's like, I don't care for anyone, no one wants me here.
I'm here. But he does leave.
He does, on the proviso that he will, in inverted commas, visit her tomorrow.
Yeah. This kind of spoils the party a little bit. Demi's now in the toilets crying.
Yeah.
Brian comes in and tries to cheer her up.
And then her mates come in.
Successfully does cheer her up.
Yeah, and her mates come in because they think he's like coming on to her.
Made her cry.
And so they beat him up.
Yeah, they attack him a little bit.
Max gives a load more pills out.
Yeah, they take a load more pills.
Everyone's off their heads.
Yeah. And so as the party winds down, this is where they all start talking about how much they owe Nolan and what he does to them. So he's beaten. It turns out in the past he's beaten up Brian.
I did a laugh out loud.
Go on.
So there's a flashback.
Yeah.
And Brian's telling the story that he took a loan from Nolan to try and get on his feet after his boxing career.
Yeah.
And he's still paying it back and he's not been able to. And there's this flashback scene where Nolan just kicks his cane away and he falls on the floor. It really made me laugh. Because it is the way he goes down with he
does like the whole Del Boy straight fall, doesn't he? It turns out he's blackmailed the girls into having sex with tramps.
Yeah. What?
I don't know, but he's managed to do that. Even Aaron's being blackmailed by him. Aaron's paid off his debts, but he's still being harassed and asked for more money by Nolan. They're all basically that everybody at this party is into Danny for something.
And Brian just goes, "Oh, we should kill him then."
Yeah, so we need to get rid of him.
But everyone it's kind of glossed over and they carry on dancing.
That people say so. They start dancing again. The next morning, everybody wakes up in bed with everybody.
Yeah, everyone's like been absolutely horn dogging each other.
Yeah, so Shan, who is one of the young girls, wakes up in bed with Max.
Yeah,
she's absolutely repulsed by this. The other two girls wake up in bed with Brian.
Yeah.
And Jean and the
window
cleaner lady wake up in bed with Aaron. So they won the jackpot that night.
Marvin wakes up outside
on
like the statue / fountain, whatever it was, in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Outside the flats.
So he didn't wake up with anybody.
Yeah.
His missus wasn't at the party.
No, she wasn't.
Do we know why?
No.
Okay, she wasn't at the party. That's crucial information. Then Danny turns up. He turns up at Jean's door, trying to get more money out of her again, trying to extort her. The postman turns back up. He's got an eye patch on now because he got shot in the eye yesterday.
Yeah. But it's another montage of what they're all doing the morning after. So the three students are all sad because they're all, oh shit, I slept with them. Yeah,
I can't believe I slept with Max.
Brian's just angry generally.
Yeah. Max turns up at Shan's door and he tells her he hopes she's got pregnant.
Yeah. They're going to have a beautiful baby together.
He even proposes to her. She's like, you're old enough to be my dad and you're really ugly.
Yeah.
So she kicks him out.
And Marvin goes back to his flat and starts cooking meth.
Yeah, he does. The postman gets mugged in the lift this morning. I thought the joke all the way through the film was going to be the running joke of the postman just getting beat up all the time, but we don't see him again after this now. It was...
Yeah, I think we see him once.
Okay, but it wasn't like the running joke that it felt like it was going to be. Meanwhile, Danny Nolan is still in the kitchen with Jean trying to get money out of her. And Ollie shows up with his shotgun.
He's about to
pop a cap in his ass.
I was going to say, Nolan's about to pop something in someone's.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ollie's playing, 15? He's a young kid. He's
supposed to be stupid.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really stupid. But he's also he loves his mum and he pulls a gun on Nolan.
Yeah, and he
even though he's physically terrified of the guy.
And Nolan's like, oh, do you know what? What my relationship is with your mum? You know about that, do you? And his mum's like mortified that
she's about
is her son knows that she sort of is
getting raped by this guy.
Yeah, and Ollie says, oh yeah, I know what's going on. You're my dad. Because you're around there all the time. Yeah. And the two adults just burst out laughing.
Yeah. No, it's like, I'm not your dad. Then somebody drops a bike on the postman.
Yeah.
From like the top story of this council block. I didn't understand the whole postman thing. Nolan does leave Jean's at that point. Didn't really want to get shot. So he goes to see Aaron. Aaron's in the place where they had the party cleaning up after the night before. And he beats him up.
Yeah, he does.
Basically, he beats the crap out of Aaron.
He seems to absolutely beat the shit out of him with a newspaper.
Yeah, he does. And the rest of the gang...
They assemble.
The Avengers assemble.
Aaron has been
beat up.
Done to.
So they all find him. So they all have like a meeting to try and come up with a plan. And again, Brian's like, we should kill this guy.
Yeah.
And as they're discussing whether they should kill him or not...
He was there the whole time.
Yeah,
Nolan just walks in.
He just walks in halfway through this discussion of whether they should kill him. Yeah.
Like, not even from outside the flat. Just he was in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, yeah. Well, they were in like the common room of this block of flats, weren't they? He throws his tea in Brian's face. In fact, talk properly, Adam. He throws his tea in Brian's face, burns him. And he slaps Jean around the face really hard. He's like, in front of everybody. He's got no fear, this guy. He's
and
like
he headbutts Marvin.
He does. He headbutts Marlin. Marlin? Fucking hell. Marvin, Melvin, and Marlin.
It's not Finding Nemo.
So the window cleaner lady is still in her dominatrix gear from the night before. And she has a whip.
Yeah.
And they basically start beating on Danny as a team.
Yeah, 3 of them choke him.
They choke him with this whip.
It's like they're taking on Thanos.
Yeah, it is. And they take him down to his knees and he's being choked. And as he's being choked, somebody comes in and throws a tray of knives at him.
It's the cutlery drawer.
The cutlery drawer out of the kitchen gets thrown at him. And Jean picks up a knife. And everybody's like, stab him.
Yeah.
So she does. She stabs this guy. And he looks up at the sky and he says, I am fucking Spartacus. Yeah. And then he drops to the floor.
And then loads of them.
Then they all grab knives.
They all stab him.
And they all stab him until he's dead.
And then Demi looms over him with a glitter ball from the party and smashes that into his face.
With the line, he made me suck a tramp's dick. Yeah. So this group of... That's what she said.
It's not funny in the film.
It's not funny in the film. It's more funny to hear me say it.
It's just funnier talking about it.
So this group of misfits, this group of people have now murdered the local gangster.
Yeah.
And now need to figure out what they do with him. So what they do is make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
They all sit around and have a drink of tea. Why is his body still on the floor? And they discuss what to do. So what they need to do is bury him. So that's what they decide. So they smuggle him outside.
Communal gardens,
which...
Flats everywhere.
Yeah.
Tall.
Hundreds.
You know what a block of flats looks like?
Yeah.
Broad, just fresh air.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Broad daylight.
Well, I think it was like early evening. I can't even remember. But hundreds of witnesses, potentially.
Potentially, but this is a council estate. Nobody says anything.
So. Which is a good job, because they don't don't go to any bloody effort.
No, they sit around in the communal garden, which Aaron's in charge of. Aaron looks after the communal gardens. It's his gardens. And they decide where they need to bury him in the gardens. And every time they point somewhere, he's like, no, there's a hamster buried there. There's a dog buried there. There's some goldfish buried over there. Until they find a place where they can bury him.
Yeah. Brian starts digging.
Falls
over again.
Suddenly, he has a seizure, doesn't he? He has a seizure a couple of times in this movie. So he falls over. So Marvin takes over.
I've just they put Nolan in the shallowest grave.
They barely dig a hole.
Yeah.
They just take the topsoil off this border.
Yeah.
Lie him on it and then cover him in soil.
I thought as we mentioned, we thought the grave in The Influence last week was bad.
Yeah.
This was worse.
This was not even as deep as his body was wide.
No.
He was not under the ground.
No.
In any way.
No.
While they start chucking soil on him, Aaron pisses on him.
Yes. And then the ground rings.
Yeah.
And they realise he's still got his phone in his pocket.
Got his phone in his pocket.
So they have to unbury him.
They unbury him, take his phone out of his pocket, rebury him. Then they do what everybody does who's ever buried a body. They swear to never speak of this again.
Yes. Until the very next morning.
Yeah, they all go off and we get another montage of them going back to their daily lives. And Brian's gone to the shop. He's walking back from the shop. What does he see on his way back from the shop?
That's Nolan's car.
Nolan's car's just parked in the
front
estate
of the building,
because he didn't walk here.
So they have to dig him up again.
They have to dig him up again, get his car keys out of his pocket. And then they draw straws on who's going to get rid of the car between all of them. And Demi picks the shortest straw.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I'll go and get rid of the car. And everybody's like, you can't drive.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And then she crashes the car off screen.
Yeah, she does. She drives in, the car crashes the
Limps
car.
away.
And Brian's like, oh, I'll sort it, don't worry. And we never see the car again. That's the end of that story. Then randomly, two of the girls start having a fight.
Yeah,
in their flat. They were just... They'd gone... I think it was supposed to show everybody being under pressure and getting stressed.
But it didn't come...
It didn't come across like that because two of the girls start fighting. Then we go back to Shelley and Marvin's house.
And Marv's got his first batch of meth.
He's done his first batch of meth. He's snorting it.
Yeah. And he gets
Shelley to have a go.
Well, she doesn't want to snort it.
She doesn't like snorting it. It gets the back of her throat.
So he puts a spoonful in her tea.
So because she's still in a dress gown. She's in a dress gown in every scene in this movie. And this...
It works.
I don't know what he's cut this meth with.
No.
But he appears to have made himself some sort of horny zombie monster.
Yes.
Because it makes both of them like ridiculously horny.
I thought this was quite like I was just it's like totally base level, isn't it? But I thought this little side storyline of these two being high and just wanting to fuck
constantly
each other
for the rest of the movie.
The rest of the movie,
yeah.
Just like even if it's just in the background of the scene,
yeah, they're always up
just
to something,
like playing with each other.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
I don't know what he cut it with. And then two people turn up on the estate that we've not met before, a lady and a man. And they are asking around, seeing if anybody knows where Danny is. They knock on the girls' flats. They deny all knowledge. They've said, nope, never seen him before, don't even know who he is.
They very badly say that to her.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Like they're not convincing anyone.
They run into Brian. They ask him if he's had any idea who Danny is and if they've seen him.
He says no, but he's got attitude about it.
Yeah, he has. So the guy punches him.
Yeah.
And then they leave.
Meanwhile, between that sort of doorstepping happening, the window cleaner knocks on Aaron's window.
Yeah.
And she's like, so, what did you think of last night?
Yeah.
Now we've done it. And he's like, yeah, I liked it. And they go at it again.
They do. They're absolutely convinced that these two people who have been asking about Danny are not cops.
Yeah.
This is the first, because their gang get together again now. They're in one of the flats, I think maybe the girls' flats. And they get together and they're like, they're definitely not cops. I don't know who these people are, but we need to sort something out because people are asking questions already.
So they decide they've got to move the body.
Yep.
Again.
Becky, one of the girls, decides they need to move the body.
But they need Marvin because he's like stronger, I guess. And he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, so Becky and Shan say, right, we'll go down and fetch Marvin.
Yeah.
And when they get down there, they've been
screaming.
beaten. Well, they've been beaten to it because the two people that we met earlier are now in Marvin and Shelley's flat. And they're trying to get Marvin and Shelley's attention whilst Marvin and Shelley are fucking on top of the washing machine.
Yes.
To the point where they even throw water on them and eventually do get them to stop. And this is where it gets revealed that somehow the meth has made them horny.
Yeah, Marvin says to this woman and man who are asking all these questions, well, they can't answer her questions, and they're like,
'Cause they're too horny.
yeah, and he's like, oh, we're going to be rich soon from this meth. Look at what it's doing to us.
Yeah. So as this is all going on, Becky and Shan come down to Marvin's flat, and all they can hear from inside is screaming.
Yeah.
So they assume that these two are being beat up by these other two, but they're not. It's just because they're fucking. So they go back up to the flat. Oh no, they ring Jean, don't they?
Yeah.
And say,
we're not going in.
we're not going in. Come down. So Jean and Brian go down to check. And when they get inside, Shelley and Marvin have drugged this woman, who it turns out is Danny Nolan's wife.
Yeah. She's monged out on the sofa.
She's now zombie horny as well.
Yeah.
The bloke's waiting outside.
Yeah, she sent the heavy to wait outside.
Yeah, so they use her phone to send him a text to tell him he can have the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
So he just drives off and we never see him again. And whilst she's drugged up and out of it,
everyone else comes into the flat.
Yeah, so they're like, right, this is the point where we can move the body. But Melvin and Shelley are still finger banging each other in the background of the scene. And so he's going to be no use.
And
so they all go off to move the body.
Well, they do, but Nolan's wife sort of sees a couple of the girls and she says, I recognise you. You're the tramp fuckers.
Yep, that happens. So they all go off. Nolan is left. Melvin and Shelley are left in charge of looking after. I think her name was
It's Steph. Nolan's wife. Yeah.
Yeah. But they all fall asleep, and she gets up before. She comes around before they're doing leaves. She bites the postman. We do see the postman again.
Yeah,
bites his nose. They haven't got a car between them.
No,
these people.
They need to move this.
They need to move this body, but they happen to know a taxi driver.
Yeah.
So they call Max. He turns up. They tell him what's happened.
Yeah.
Was he high? I don't know what Max was on.
I think he was still on drugs, but it did feel like something had been chopped out this scene. But essentially, what happens is Jean and Brian say to Max, "Right, this is what's happened.
Yeah,
we've got this dead body.
Yeah,
can you move it?" And he's not against it.
No,
he's not against helping them out. But Max. The reason Max doesn't help them is because he says he's dead. Yeah,
yeah.
And they say yeah, and Max says, "Well, I'm not gonna get a tip, am I? If he's dead?" And he just drives off.
Yeah. Do we ever see Max again? I don't think we do. Yeah, so he just drives off. Melvin then wakes up. He realises Steph's gone.
Yeah.
Shelley's still asleep on the sofa. So they move the body in a shopping trolley.
They do, covered with a blanket.
Yeah, they've got him in a shopping trolley with a blanket over. Two lads show up. They realise that these people have a body and they want a selfie with it.
Yeah, you just take a selfie.
So I thought this was where
hoodlums.
I thought, well, they've got these guys now. They can just blame this guy if they get these guys if they go. I thought that's where they were going with this. They don't. It has no consequence. Steph then turns up at Ollie's door.
Yeah.
He's at home alone, but with a friend. He's got a friend over.
Yeah,
they're both young, 15-year-old playing FIFA or whatever they're playing.
Or whatever they do.
N64. Yeah, that's what they're doing in 2018.
Who wouldn't have a PS4, would they?
Why?
Because it's
2018.
No, but because it's
because they're counsellors, people. They had some sort of games console, but it wasn't an N64. She kind of falls into his flat, and
and they're like, "Oh, what's this Fitbird doing here?"
Yeah, they're like, and his mate wants
like Kevin and Perry, aren't they?
Yeah, they absolutely are.
But she's
up for it.
She's a horny zombie.
She's going to fuck these 15-year-olds if she needs to. And they're both up for it in front of each other
until it starts
happening, and they both freak out.
They're scared.
They run off and hide in their bedroom. And then Ollie gets his gun, and his mate's like, "What are you going to do with that?" And he's like, "I'm going to shoot her in the fanny." Yeah. Because of course he is. Meanwhile, the guys are still walking around with this body in a shopping trolley. And a cop car drives past. And just as the cop car pulls up, Brian starts having this seizure.
Yeah.
So the cops get out of the car to make sure he's okay.
And he twirls round as he's seizing.
He does, and punches this cop in the face during mid-seizure. So the cops arrest this guy. He's clearly having a seizure.
Having a medical emergency.
And they're arresting him while this is happening. Everybody's kicking off. Nobody wants Brian to be arrested. They're also trying to protect the fact they've got this body in a shopping trolley. From the flat upstairs, Ollie hears all this commotion. He's like a crack shot sniper. So he snipes the policeman with his BB gun sniper. And everybody runs off. Escape. They all escape and the cops just leave.
No, I presume they call for backup.
Yeah, whatever. And they all go and hide in a shed.
They do, yeah.
In the garden. So they've got this body in a trolley and all of our people are in a shed. Ollie comes downstairs to see what all the commotion is with his mate. He walks in. He wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, they both enter the shed.
He finds out his mum's killed a dude earlier today. And you're right. Then armed police turn up outside.
Yeah. And we hear, you're surrounded. Come out.
Come out with your hands up, blah, blah, blah. And Ollie's like, I'll take the fall for this. I'm the big man. I'm the hero. Yeah. So him and his mate go out. They get arrested.
We get a cutaway to a single police car
driving off. So they get arrested and the cops just leave.
Yeah. Everyone else is waiting.
Nobody knows what they're being arrested for. But again, we never see these people again. Then Shelley turns up.
Shelley and Steph both arrive in the shed.
Yeah, Shelley turns up marginally first.
Yeah.
And she finds out this is the first time she knows there's a dead body. And then Steph turns up and sees her dead husband. And she's like, who killed my husband? Because she wants to know who killed her husband. And then Aaron turns up because he wasn't there. Because he was waiting in the flat for the rest of them.
Yeah.
And he says, I did. And then
he's wearing a new superhero
He's
costume.
got a new costume.
With like a big A on the front for Super Aaron, I guess.
And then as he says that, Demi turns up because she was waiting outside with Aaron while all this was going on. And she knocks Steph out with a headbutt.
Yeah.
And she says, he made me suck a tramp's dick for the second time. Then Steph wakes up, bearing in mind she's still super horny, and sees Aaron. The first thing she sees is Aaron.
Yeah.
So everybody else goes outside. And all we can assume is Aaron fucks Steph.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned that every time Aaron fucks somebody, we only find out because the girls all walk out holding their arse cheeks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But then Steph's like, I've just been fucked. I'm okay now. I'm not horny anymore. Has anybody got any champagne? Because I hated that dick of a husband of mine. And I had him insured to the hilt, so I'm going to be rich.
Yeah, I will reap the benefits.
Yeah. So she's being nice and everybody's friendly and happy and good. And it's all good.
She calls in her heavies to dispose of the body.
Yep, they get rid of the body. And then she goes up to them all and she says, I will be round tomorrow for your debts.
Yes.
So she's taking on Danny's role.
Yeah.
And then as she does that, she leaves on like the crest. She's like the new big bad guy of the estate. And Aaron runs off and hits her with a spade.
You hear a clong off screen.
And then the film ends.
Yeah. As they all shout, no.
Don't do it. And then it like freeze frames and that's how the film ends. Thoughts, Nick?
I mean, it's a wild ride, isn't it?
Fuck me.
What is this? What is this movie?
It's the pilot episode of Brassic, only not good.
He thinks I might be a bit broken because I know this is a bad movie.
You are if you're going to tell me something about this movie,
I know this is a bad movie.
Yes, this is a terrible movie.
I did not hate this movie. Like,
are you okay? Is anybody out there a therapist? This is 3 weeks in a row now.
I wasn't like, I wasn't hating on this. I knew it was not good, but it was just past. I tell you what, it's the easiest to watch movie we've seen for a long time.
I'd agree with that. You can leave your brain out their door for this one, completely, because the writer did.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
It's absolute nonsense. It makes no sense. It's silly. It's not funny. There are bits of it that will raise a chuckle.
Yeah, there's a couple of lines.
In general, it is not a funny movie.
It's manic. It's not what I thought. I thought the whole thing was going to be a sort of team up. How are we going to take this guy down?
Yeah.
And no, that happens.
They take him down instantly.
They take him down and there's 45 minutes of this movie left.
Yeah. And then it's what do we do with his body for the rest of it?
Yeah. And it's...
Nick, this is an awful movie.
It's so random. Yeah, I know it is.
This is not a good movie.
But at no point when I was watching it was I like, oh God, this has been going for ages.
No, I'll give you that. It's not boring.
Or, I'm really not enjoying this.
No, it isn't boring. I'll give you that. It isn't entertaining either, though. Am I laughing at it more? I think I might be laughing at it.
Yeah.
I think I'm laughing at it.
Part of it, and this is maybe where I'm a bit biased, is that I was watching this thinking this is going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's so...
It has been. We've had a good time.
It's rude. It's basic. It's so basic.
It's so basic.
That should have been my one word review. This movie is basic.
Yeah.
And I think it's offensive. It's like borderline offensive. Like
the whole Aaron thing.
Yeah. Like they are. He is so objectified by every woman in this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think this is appropriate. And I think like the Ollie character, I think that's offensive.
Yeah, there are people out there like that, but yeah.
But it's stereotypes, isn't it? And it's
this has a cast of people that you will know.
TV
cast of, if you watch British TV, you will recognise most of the people.
There's people out of EastEnders, Coronation Street, like you say.
Yeah, there's. I recognise the guy who played Melvin. I recognise the guy who played Nolan.
The lady who played Steph was in No Offence, which has been a really big series on Channel 4 the last few years. Police drama.
You'll recognise pretty much it. Like I say, Nina Wadia's in it.
Yeah.
There's a whole cast of people in this who have successful careers, and then they come up with this.
So
it's hot garbage of a movie.
I did share this with you off air. This movie made on its cinematic release.
Yeah.
$3,500. That's it.
That's it. That's nothing. Yeah. Where's this movie had a cinematic release? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Where? 2018. This movie wasn't made for Netflix. What was this movie made for? Where did it come? Netflix didn't make this.
What I would like to know is in like 22 years time or so.
Yeah.
If we were found this movie and watched, would we be like Mad Dogs in this?
Maybe.
Would we be like, what is this movie? Why are these people in it who are reasonably famous? And
where at the time?
Who watched it? Why was it made? What is it?
I am a bit like that now. I'm like, why was it made? Where did it get released? What is it? I'll tell you what it is. It's terrible. It's just not a good movie. But I can see you looking at me with your side eyes.
No, it's not. I agree with everything you're saying.
It isn't boring.
No.
I laughed at it more than I laughed with it.
Yeah.
And like you say, parts of it are offensive. And also offensive because it thinks it's funny and it isn't.
Yeah.
And that's quite offensive to me.
I felt like the characters I found funny weren't the ones that the movie wanted me to find funny. Does that make sense?
Yes, that absolutely makes sense.
It's just it's all over the place.
It's not like
that to a part of me that appeals.
Yeah,
that something this unfocused and manic is out there in this form.
It's like watching an extended sketch. It's like a sketch show.
Yeah, and the director's just going more,
keep going,
louder,
keep going,
weirder, ruder.
Where can you go with this? Keep going, keep going. There's no script, but just like pushing this story on and keep pushing it on, and this clusterfuck of a movie comes out of that. It's a hot mess. It really is. What's the best thing about it?
It's bottom of the stream for a reason. What's the best
100%.
thing about it? It's the meth induced fucking.
That was funny. I kind of thought the character of Ollie was quite funny. I don't know why. The fact he just kept shooting people, and it's been done before. But yeah, you're right. It is for some reason meth made these two really horny, and for that whole rest of that whole movie, they were just fucking or finger banging. What would you change about it? Structure. Need some structure.
Some jokes.
Bury that body a bit deeper.
Probably less characters.
Yeah, there's too many people in it.
That group of like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And then it gets very convoluted on having to maneuver them into certain places for the finale so that they come into the shed at the end.
Yeah. I think I could name 4 people I could cut out of it.
Yeah.
I think, and it wouldn't have made any difference. So there is that.
And that'd
streamline it a bit.
Yeah, give it a bit more focus and maybe that would lead on to a better movie. Who knows?
We need to put this movie into the season 10 stream table.
Okay.
It's the 15th movie of the season. Do you want me to read through it?
Sure.
Currently at number 14 is Riptide, and number 13 is Hard Feelings, and number 12 is Bloody New Year, and number 11 is Rogue Agent, and number 10 is Mad Dogs, and number 9 is Hypnotic, and number 8 is The Influence, and number 7 is Sundogs, and number 6 is Green Sea. Currently number 5 is Bubble, number 4 is Finder's Fee, Number 3 is The Girl in the Yellow Jumper. Number 2 is 60 Minutes. And currently the best film we've seen in season 10 is The Call. Where does this one go, Nick?
I would have this, if it was simply down to me, I can see you're looking worried. Don't think you need to be that worried. I would have this in 12th place.
Just above Bloody New Year?
Yes.
That's really interesting.
You're about to tell me you'd have it higher?
No. I would have had it... My instant thought was one place lower.
I thought it would be.
I'd go just below Bloody New Year, personally.
Because if I... Yeah.
Because if I had to watch one again...
You'd watch that.
100%.
I'd watch this.
Okay. I don't care.
No, I'll take it then. In that case.
It's very close, but they're two batshit movies.
Yeah.
It does go somewhere either side of them.
Yeah. I think that's yeah. They're quite a nice pair of movies in that respect. In that they're just absolutely mental and
One thing I will say about this movie is we often quite say when we go towards the bottom of the stream, we'll never remember what this is. I think I will remember what this movie is.
Yeah, I think so.
For a while.
Yeah.
Whereas there's movies in that table higher up than that where I don't know what they are.
Okay.
Cool. Strangeways Here We Come is currently number 12 in a 15 film stream table.
10 left.
10 left in season 10.
Still plenty of time.
Still 2 wildcards to go.
Yeah.
Including my own.
Oh, indeed.
That might be coming soon.
Oh.
Not this week, though.
That's a tease.
This week, we need to get Robin the randomizer to do his thing. Shall we get him out?
Bring her on.
What are you looking for, Nick?
I feel like we've had quite a bit of madness.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a
recently.
crazy season, hasn't it?
I wouldn't be against...
Something a bit more structured.
A proper movie.
Proper movie. That'd be nice. I'd like something good. It feels like a long time since we did something actually good.
Something to challenge
the
top 5
would
be nice.
It's been a long time. I'm going to press his buttons. Are you ready?
Yes.
He has picked us a movie called The Lost Patient.
Okay.
Any ideas?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay, let me just look it up on IMDb. Okay, it's a French movie.
Okay.
Actually, on IMDb, it's called Le Patient.
Okay, makes sense.
They're just not bothering with the Lost at all. Do you want a synopsis?
I would love one, please.
Then... Okay, after... It's bodily translated from French, so bear with me. After a 3-year coma, 19-year-old Thomas awakens. He learns that his entire family has been murdered and his sister has disappeared. Thomas, critically injured with a knife in the night of the crime, is the only survivor of the massacre.
Oh.
So his entire family's been murdered and his sister has disappeared, so not his entire family have been murdered. It's a French movie, 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's the same rating as this?
It is the same rating as this.
Oh, what an interesting comparison that will be.
Absolutely. We don't do French, we don't do very often, do we?
We've done a few.
Have we?
What French movies have we done? The Mansion. Remember the murderous haunted game?
Yeah.
What was the one with the awful sex scene over the end credits? That was French. The home invasion one. Where the couple got... Was it Get In?
Yes. The opposite
that
to
was
Get
French.
Out. Yeah.
And Ares.
Oh, yeah. So we have done a few. Yeah.
The sort of futuristic dystopian fight club type thing.
Okay.
So, yeah,
we have done a few French movies.
Done a few.
Well, we're going to do another one. We're going to do The Lost Patient or La Patient. So yeah, go and check that out. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram and Letterboxd. Our username is @BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, loads of other cool stuff, all the stream tables, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
pellet gun.
It'd be like Ollie. After you've done all of that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for £5 of your English pounds every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get loads of other cool stuff. You can get into a secret area of the Discord. And you will also get a wild card, which means you can pick the movie we watch in that particular week. And if you pick the best one of the season, you'll win a prize.
You sure will.
And after that, head over to Discord. The Discord is a wonderful group full of wonderful people. We play games, we do watch-alongs, we've got a meetup coming up. We've got all sorts of cool stuff going on in the watch-along, in the Discord, for fuck's sake. The Discord link is in the bottom of the show notes, and I'm just never going to speak again.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a rating and a review anywhere you can review and rate podcasts. We're on all those places. Those places are places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, YouTube Music.
Yeah,
we're all over them.
We are.
And more stuff coming soon.
Loads
from
of stuff
us on those places.
Stuff coming soon. So yeah, head over to... fuck's sake. Go out and watch The Lost Patient, and we'll be back on Monday for The Wave and next Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers!
Bye!